What in the world happened on this famed plane flight that allowed this Celtics team to turn the corner from seemingly a mess to championship caliber team? What do you got for me here?
If the Celtics, if they wind up doing something in the playoffs, this plane's going to be dissected for weeks and months to every little detail of getting on the plane, to what happened, who went to the bathroom first. This
is like Durant's Hamptons.
Exactly.
Potentially.
The one thing I've heard coming out of Boston was that this was a very positive conversation they had. Now, they've had a lot of, airing of the grievance type meetings in the last year. A lot of Festivus stuff. They've had closed-door meetings. They've talked. I mean, you heard Marcus Morris say earlier in the season that it just wasn't fun, playing like that anymore. This, what I was told, had a much more different tone. It was Kyrie Irving speaking, a handful of other guys speaking, but speaking more in a positive way about what this team really is capable of, which was interesting because they were coming off a brutal homestand. They were slapped around by the Houston Rockets, but on that plane ride out west, they were very positive, and for whatever reason, that manifested itself in just what's been a terrific road trip.
So positive, how? I mean, was it Kyrie and Brad Stevens? Did they all get together, best you can tell, on the plane?
No, I don't think there was a... Look, I mean, for context in these plane rides, all the players kind of sit in one group. Some of them play cards. Some of them take naps. But during this plane ride, it wasn't the coaching staff that was talking. It was the players talking amongst themselves and really just saying, from what I was told, we're better than this. We are a really good team. And look, that's a reality. What we saw against Golden State, maybe not beating them by, 30 points, but beating them is something this team is capable of doing. Going to Sacramento, winning on a back-to-back, beating the Lakers, beating the Clippers, beating top-tier teams, this Celtic group is fully capable of doing that. I mean, we forget sometimes just how good they were at the end of last year. And now that we see this team starting to come together, specifically when it comes to Gordon Hayward, individually, that's the story. Gordon Hayward had a couple of clunkers in February, but that month was a pretty good month for him, and he's off to a great start in March. He's never going to be, at least not this season, Gordon Hayward from Utah, but Gordon Hayward 2.0, who shoots a high percentage from three, who operates as basically the backup point guard, that player can still be really effective. So I think you have to look at Hayward and what he's doing as a real catalyst more than any kind of, plane trip.
Let me throw something out at you, Chris Mannix. The mental part of all of this that Kyrie seems to talk about a lot, and other players as well. The mental aspect, the glare, hey, you're following me into a hallway and you're trying to read into my conversation with another free agent to be, and that drives me crazy. And Steve Kerr comes and says, hey, we're all part of a soap opera. That's what you get paid big bucks for. That plane ride or not, obviously Gordon Hayward is a big difference maker as well. But we're at the point of the season where July 1st is finally, for the first time all season, secondary. That we're now in the nitty and the gritty. That anybody that has a question about their July 1st intentions could easily say, not now. This is the playoffs. We're making a playoff push. These are the playoffs. And that mentally helps unlock somebody like Kyrie Irving. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's true. Kyrie, there's some guys that love free agency, right? Like LeBron loved it. Kevin Durant maybe doesn't love it so much, but certainly it doesn't affect him to talk about it that much. This is Kyrie Irving's first foray into free agency, and you can tell from jump he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the whole process. He doesn't like the questions about it. All that being said, Kyrie does a magnificent job of feeding the media without the media even asking him questions. Like the call with LeBron that he had, nobody asked him about it. Nobody asked him to reach out to LeBron. We're talking about a plane ride. Nobody asked him about it. He just dropped that after the game against the Warriors. And, the stuff that happened in New York when he kind of lost it and said, ask me July 1st, that was weird too, because he had to know going into that press availability that this was going to be the question. For 24 hours, he knew after the Knicks did what they did that this was going to be the question. He just seems to handle all this media stuff very strangely. And I think that's a big part of what's kind of been, sort of dysfunctional about him this season.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.